Ooh, long time no see.
I know, long time no see. How you been?
It's been a while.
Did you go to the little girl's room and get yourself something to drink?
Yes, I actually did. Well, I managed to get something to drink, so
Yeah.
gearing up.
Okay. So, well, hello everybody. Oh, your sound was choppy and quiet. Yeah.
What if you turned off your camera? See if that bandwidth wise changes
Okay.
anything.
Well, all right. Let me
It
see.
likely won't, but
Yeah, I
it
don't.
sounds clear to me. But
Okay. Does that help anybody?
let us know, guys.
Um, I really don't think it's gonna make a shit bit of difference. And you know what's crazy is I was holding the mic the last time. I mean, it couldn't get any closer. Bes- Besides being in my mouth. Hi, Half Pint. How you doing?
Okay,
Y'all, tell
something
me if
really
this.
weird just happened.
What?
Okay, you know the outline of your uh like your Google
Did somebody
search
clone
or
me? Are you gonna tell me I've been cloned?
no, but this is scary. So my laptop is every so often makes this really weird noise. Not like it's tearing up, but like not a ringtone, but just a noise that shouldn't be happening. And on top of that, everything turned black, like the outline that's usually white where you type in a URL
Mm-hmm.
has turned totally black, changed colors on its own. I'm hacked.
Let's see what it. Oh, hold on. I just. Yeah. Okay. It's. I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna unplug this altogether and let's try it this way. Okay, now I have completely taken the mic out and the I'm just using the damn iPod, the iPad. Give me 1 second. Let me look in the settings and see if I need to change. Yep, give me 1 second, you guys. Okay, how is that any better, y'all? The audio? Can y'all hear me? Oh, Kinsuji says yes, it is better.
Oh
Okay.
gosh, loud and clear.
God almighty, y'all, I'm truly. Now let me see if I can start the cam again and see if it still stays good. Okay, now, can y'all still hear me okay? Is
Yep.
it still better? Okay. Isn't that crazy? I I am using nothing but the iPad mic. So, y'all, I have tried every kind of mic there is. I've tried the HyperX. I've tried the a really small directional. The only thing I haven't tried that I may possibly give a whirl, but I doubt it. I'm just over this shit. Is a lavalier. Is that what it's called? A lavalier? You know, the kind you clip on and then you wear the pack.
Oh
Anissa
yeah.
says it's perfect. Oh, in fact, let's do this. Let's I shit. Do you think we need do we have we don't have mods, do we?
Dang it, we don't.
Do you think we need them?
Hopefully not.
Okay. Well, we'll send that mic back once you get a piece. Days, do you think that's what it is? You think it's because the iPad is just not um I don't know, I don't get it. I could try my phone. I could try to use my phone to record and I don't know. I won't send it back yet, but Days, if I can't get this stupid thing to work, it might end up with you. I know you said you wanted one, so okay. So, I guess we could say hello without me railing about microphone issues.
Yeah, I'm over here hacked. It's all good. Hey
Yeah,
everybody.
you're cloned and hacked and I can say anything I want because nobody can hear me, so it doesn't matter.
God, we're in great shape. I'm actually taping my webcam up right now because I'm making sure the dark web's not looking at me.
What? Do you
The whole
know?
thing like turned black. It's the weirdest thing. Like
That is
almost
weird.
as if you customized your, pages and stuff, which I did not do.
That is weird. You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I have a girlfriend who um, works in tech. That's all I'll say. And I'm talking in high levels of tech. She works for like some major companies. And even 20 years ago, she would never have an Alexa. She immediately on getting any technology disabled the location settings, the whole nine, because she will tell you with great conviction that they watch. And we know they listen.
Scary.
Watching, I don't know, but we know they listen. That's for sure. So,
Well, they're gonna get a
so
big dose of double chin if they're watching me. So
okay. So, hey, Kinsuji, Charlotte, Ann, Anissa, Days, two of the hardest working women on YouTube. Everyone appreciates you
they
guys.
they work their streets
They
hard.
do. They do. Hey, B, how you doing? Fuzzy Pink Feet, Fizz Crank, how are you? Thank you all for suffering through the audio on the last one. I'm going to keep on trying, but Gail, how are you? Virginia, nice to see you again. Half Pint, Janica, nice to see you. Mayor, copy that. She says I'm a little louder. Okay, well, hopefully it'll y'all if it dips out and gets intolerable, please let me know. Hey, tattoos and unicorns, how are you? Are you seeing anybody that I missed? Joe.
Charlotte,
Hello, Joe.
Kintsugi, all the people.
I was
Hello.
about to say hi to Reality Bites. I'm like, oh, that's us.
Hello, us.
So, what do you want to talk about? Price of tea in China?
Yeah, that'll work. That's a good starter. Hey, Victoria. Is crank. Guys, if you would like a link, we are kind of having a open. We're not going to call it open panel. That always seems to bring
Yeah.
crazy. We'll just call it open mic night. Just
Yeah.
any thoughts or feelings, or you just want to not don't vent. God, don't vent, but just just if
Oh, I didn't mean to,
you
Dazed.
want
I
to.
didn't mean to pin that. I'm not sure why I pinned that. How do I get that off? I can't remember.
It should say hide current comment. Here we
Oh,
got it.
yeah,
There
there
we
you
go.
go. Duh. I'm not very good at that. Hello, Monroe. How are you?
Guys,
Big
if you
girl
come up,
Sally. How you
you
doing?
must you must either show your face really well. You have to show your face really quickly, and then if we have to, we'll put up a wall because you never know these days.
Oh, I don't know. Some of these people are good at scaling walls now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Victoria H. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we just thought that today was one of those days where um I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I wasn't around for the live fireworks. I did hear a lot on the replay this afternoon, but I have been trying very hard over these last several weeks to stay out of what would it tonight? Oh, oh, is that the island that the turtle island? I
Oh,
well, I'm old, but I will try and stay awake past my usual 10. Y'all, I've been watching Vikings. I know I'm really late. I'm late to the party. I just started watching Vikings. Oh, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm really digging it. And I tell you what, these YouTubers, they could teach those Vikings a thing or two.
oh, ain't that the truth?
My God. So I have done my level best to I knew that when everything shook loose, we'll just say, and we had the split between BK Rap Nicolina et al. I knew that there was going to be no. I knew the only way to stay out of it and avoid having to pick a side, for lack of a better way to put it. I knew that that would require to, if I didn't want to do that, which I did not, um, then I was going to have to stay out of everywhere. And that's what I did. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not that I wasn't there. I was everywhere. I just was not in anyone's chat, quite purposely. Um, and, I figured one of a few things would happen. It was either going to just be a short term fracture and everybody would go back to normal and no harm, no foul. I didn't really think that's what would happen, but I figured it would either be that or it would culminate, at least for me. I kind of felt like I would know when when it was safe to get back in the water. So that's kind of what I did. And this is the God's honest truth. That day that I spoke to Ernie Shell last week, that was the first day that I was in any chat. So, and even then I only went to Raps. Then I talked, the thing went on with Izzy, so I went over to talk to Ernie. And then after that, I think I popped into Nicolina's chat. And that was it. So, and I've stayed out again out of those parties chats. So here we are today, and I'm I'm asking the same question that I've asked all along because I've yet to hear the answer, and that is this question. To what end is all of this? What is going to make, because y'all, when I tell you that I am very afraid, and I mean very much with all sincerity, I think something bad is going to happen. It just keeps getting ramped up, ramped up, ramped up. I mean, last night we had the police showing up at a YouTuber's house. There's every day there's fireworks on one channel or another. Now it's not even contained to the direct parties channels. It's going off to other people's channels who don't even, from where I'm sitting, I didn't think they had anything to do with any of this. So I truly would, if there was one thing I could ask just a few people, I would want to know, in a perfect world, best case scenario, what they would like to see happen. Like what is their objective? Like, I think I would ask, that's what I would ask. So
I think the scary part is there's maybe not an end, or maybe there's not an objective at all. It's just whatever's going to happen happens, and I guess there's no there God. I mean, I'm sure there is forethought, but I don't think anybody ever stops to really think about consequences, in the future of anything anymore.
Yeah, I think emotions are so high that logic and thought just go right out the window. Even if, and I'm not even saying that that's that going in, that they are probably not even planning that, but boy, it doesn't. I mean, it's not like it takes long to get there. It takes. I mean, it's record time. So, and I know it's been going on for a while. I I'm sure this predates even my coming on scene. I listen. I have said many times that I don't know all the backstories. That I don't know the histories. I don't know the backstories. But I kind of feel like I don't need to. I don't want to. And I don't know that I do need to, because I would love for anybody who does not share the opinion I have, which is something bad's coming. It it just is. Like you cannot have this level of what appears to be real, true anger and animosity, and it's branching out everywhere. You cannot you cannot sustain this level of vitriol and not expect that somebody at some point it's going to be too much for, and they are going to lose complete control. And I don't know if that means, I mean, look what happened to Doug from Northport. I've never watched Doug from Northport. I know absolutely nothing about him, and I know very little about what happened to him. But I do know that if not for the actions of his family, who, thank God, saw this happening and were able to jump in and do CPR or whatever life saving measures they did, he probably would have been dead and over YouTube. And why does anybody, how can anybody say with a straight face that, oh no, this isn't going to go to that point? Really? Why not? It it's I'm trying to choose my words very carefully and measured, and I am not throwing anybody under the bus. There's plenty of bad, listen, there's not a person involved in this that is blameless. Every single person in this situation, even those on the peripheral, me being one of them, I'm raising my hand. I added to, I played my part in adding to some of the drama, the bad behavior. Obviously mine was only with my words, but not everybody is as in control of themselves. So I would love to hear someone who does not share that opinion. Tell me why you don't think this could end very, very badly.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like anybody from any corner is willing to just say, you know what, I've had enough, I'm done, and just drop it. It's there's so much now. It's like a big, here we go with the metaphors. It's like a big
I
bunch
like
of
your metaphor.
it's a big bunch of Christmas lights when you get them out, and they're like so friggin' mangled. It would take so long to unravel, to even try to go backwards and find out where it started, and the fault is this, the fault is that. It's way beyond that now. It's really
Mm-hmm.
just time to buy new Christmas lights.
Oh yeah, I would. I'm I'm saying, forget just buying the Christmas lights. I'm chucking the whole tree, the ornaments, the lights. I don't give a damn. Um, I'm buying all new, and I might just buy
Agreed.
an artificial one. I don't know. I I don't know. I hate the fact that I I see some I see some real cruelty going on. Just and when I say cruelty, I'm talking, and I'm not a, clearly I'm not a millennial. I'm not somebody who throws that word around very lightly. I truly don't. But I've I've heard things that I don't know. I don't hate anybody in real life. I don't hate anybody on YouTube. I truly do not. So I it is really it boggles the mind to think that, especially like in the case of me, and you're not too far from my age. um we are way grown. I mean, we are parents, grandparents, and to think that there are those among us who feel like they cannot say what they want, go where they want. And I'm talking about being respectful, not, rolling up in somebody's chat and acting the fool because, people are watching. I I truly think that if I had any idea what I was putting myself in, I I don't know that I would have. I probably would have just carried on watching only.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I could go back, I may have never even if I had known that it was gonna take all these turns along the way, yeah, there's a good possibility if I had the, foreknowledge that I would probably have done the same. I would have quietly watched and just have let it be, and it's made people not trust each other, it's made people angry at each other, it's affected subs and watchers in totally negative ways all the way around.
Mhm.
People are angry, sad, confused, upset. I mean, it runs the whole line of emotions, and it's just sad, man. It's sad, sad state of affairs. But, the answer, I guess that's what everybody that's kinda sitting back on the in the stands and watching this take place is, I know I'm wondering, what is the answer? I've resolved my any hope of being a gatekeeper of any kind of peace. That's why, I've said what I've
Oh,
said, and, I'm just,
Judge
I'm
Judy could not be the gatekeeper here. Okay,
no, no.
there's no gate to keep.
No, the
There's
gate's
just,
been totally set afire and kicked
yeah,
in.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's not even I I
it's
mean, it
useless.
sounds it
You're
sounds
darned if
very,
you do and darned if you don't, I feel
yeah,
like.
yeah.
There's no answer. And it
Um,
just
I think there's an answer, but I think we won't do it. And to me,
stop watching.
because it's not rocket science. Okay,
It's not. It really
and the
isn't, is it?
answer is
We're in some kind
if
of friggin' maze.
the answer is if you truly say you don't support the bad behavior, and when I say bad behavior, I mean the egregious stuff. You know, if you say you don't support it, then to me, the only way to really make it stop is to not support it.
But
But
but I think another problem too is, some might say, well, and I think this was my line of thinking is, I'll stick around until, it gets too crazy. And that's anywhere I would go. And I'll think, yeah, I'll stick around till it gets too crazy and I'll dip out. But once you are seen, anywhere, it's automatically assumed, oh, you're in on the bullying because, you were here, there, wherever, when you truly aren't, and I don't know, it just goes back to, I don't know, it's gotten so overly sensitive that even the tiniest spark, I mean, the tiniest, erupts a complete forest fire around here.
do you think that's, I think the other thing that's hard is,
Addicted
you
mind, I
know,
have a question for you, and I mean that the way I said that sound like an asshole. No, I really do have a question though. I mean that's a good point. Don't support by subbing to a bully channel, but here's the thing: what if? And I know this is going to be probably a crazy question, but what if sometimes people that you have fun watching or you enjoy watching or do have content sometimes that you
I'll
like?
be back in 2 seconds. Keep
Okay.
going.
What if sometimes they might say things that could be taken in a bully way? You know what I mean? I'm just asking on a human level. Legit. Like,
Yeah, one person's bullying is not
yeah,
necessarily another's.
right. That's what I'm saying. I think that's what makes it hard. The arguing back and forth is one thing. The doxing and going on life is ridiculous. That, Joe, the thing is with that is like you never know when it's gonna overlap into that. Do you know what I mean? There's no warning of when somebody is gonna take it one step further, and therein lies the problem. But of course, my concern is always for the audience because when you're a creator, you make that decision to be quote unquote public, meaning that I'm not trying to say anybody's a friggin' superstar rock star on here. I don't want y'all to get the wrong idea. But you are making yourself a public figure. And so you know what you're taking on, and if you don't know, you find out pretty quick. But I think it's really crazy to think how many subs have been pulled in on it too. First, you have to define bullying. If someone says something you don't like, is that a bully or is the bully the one that responds? See, that's what I mean. It's such a it's oh my gosh. It is just so twisted. I don't know. I don't know because in my real life, I probably laugh at a lot of things that would make other people cringe and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? Psychopath." But I don't know, it's just weird. It's so many different personalities clashing at one time. It just makes a big old, it's a big old melting pot of shit, man. It's too much. Bullying is repeated verbal abuse, physical abuse. I hope we don't have physical abuse on here. I mean, I don't think, at least not in our neighborhood, but definitely I think repeated verbal abuse. We have a lot of that on here, but then you have it being dished out, you have it taken, you have it being dished out by the opposite person. It's always, at least two or more people at any given time that are super angry at each other. And yes, Doug already did get hurt. Um, as Lisa said, I don't know him either. I'm so thankful that he did, he was he was blessed to survive, and you would think that would be a lesson to everybody because nobody, I don't think, thinks they're going to go to any kind of crazy extent, but we know that obviously it has happened. So, and you don't know what that trigger is going to be. That's the thing. You don't know what tiny thing is going to set somebody off, just lose it and just show up somewhere and really go for it on somebody. And God, that would be horrific. Imagine if you woke up and hopped on here thinking, oh, we're going to have some fun, see what the drama is. And then you get on here and you find out somebody that you actually like to watch has been hurt or worse. Then it wouldn't, be too late. And that's why, it's important before. it's too late to try to change things around. Like, forgive people. I know, and I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying I have to do that. It's I can't let any of this affect me to the point that I would, even if somebody said something horrible about me, or I'm just trying to put myself in a lot of people's shoes on here. I'm sure I can understand why people get mad, but at the same time, I have enough sense and wit about myself to know that the answer is not to lash back out, because then you start perpetuating, and that's whenever you get this never ending. It's like that. Here we go again. It's like that thing that sits on people's desks that have all the balls, and you pull one back and you hit it, and it hits the ball
Oh,
on the other
yeah.
end, and it just is continuous and perpetual. And you know, who knows who clanked the first ball.
Yeah. I mean, I truly had no idea that, I mean, this genre is, uh, well, it certainly seems to be a team sport. Let's just say that. And I think to even attempt to not be involved in it, it really does. It takes a whole lot of, I mean, because if y'all don't think that, I think I've said several times that just because you maybe haven't seen me in the places I was used to being, and I haven't come down and said I am team whatever, well, that is just because I have not told you my opinion, that doesn't mean I don't have one. And I maintain that. I Of course I do. But I think something that definitely comes with age is knowing when to make your opinion known, when not to make your opinion known, how to be. I find it very discouraging that as way grown adults, some of us a lot more than others, that you should ever need to feel like you cannot go somewhere or freely chat. And when I say freely chat, I mean, if you think something's funny, laugh. And I am not talking about any of the, over the top, the hateful, none of that. But, you know, if I see something that's funny, I shouldn't have to worry if I want to cut up with somebody and laugh. And yeah, maybe it will be at someone else's expense, but not in a cruel way. But it just, I mean, I've heard more than one person say over these last few weeks, um, that they've been watching. And I'm sure that's the case. I mean, I think it's safe to assume that there are always people watching, and people that are quite likely reporting back, which I mean, to even say those words, it just sounds absurd, but it's not. And we all know it's not. So I don't know how all this ends. But that is the one thing that I I want to hear. That's the answer I want to hear. I want to hear someone, hey Izzy Pop, I want to hear someone come up here and tell me, whoever that may be, if you have a beef with someone, big or small, I would love to hear what your perfect world solution is. Is it to have that person permanently removed from YouTube, from the internet, from all social media? What is it? Because I think until we until we get those answers, well, how can you possibly expect to fix anything if you can't even identify what it is person X, Y, and Z wants to make the problem stop? And that's the one thing I never hear. I never hear, this is what I'm looking for. I'm just looking at the chat for a minute, you guys. Smoke weed and chill. Oh, well, hey, whatever works for you. Hey, Addicted Mind, how you doing? B-Doc, I don't know who you and Charlotte Ann are talking about, but I don't have to know. Just what you said, I'd rather just stay away. You didn't like the way someone treated someone else, so you just stay away. I mean, I agree. And that is what I've said many times, and I know that there's no one on here that is going to change, nor would I expect to change anything to suit me. No. So I do the only thing I can do, which is remove myself from the situation. And I'm not naive enough to think that that can work quite as simply for everyone as it did for me, because I haven't been on here the length of time that many of these creators have. I don't have the backstory, the history, and I'm glad. I'm very glad about that. So, you know, when Rabbit and I talked about doing this, we just kind of thought, since all hell broke loose last night, broke loose again today, you know, we just thought that if anybody still had something they wanted to say in a more, I hate to say controlled environment, because that is not a reflection on anyone else or anything that's happened over the past 48 hours. But, you know, things go differently in different channels. And a lot of that has to do with the people, how many are in there, who they are, etc. So we just thought that, I don't know, we'd try again and see if there was anything that we could help resolve. I don't think either one of us truly think. We know that we don't have any magic wand. We don't have anything more than anyone else has. But I think, especially for me, because I have been removed from all of it for several weeks, it's a little, I don't have that, I'm not that emotional about it, because I'm fine with however this all shakes out, as long as it, you know, I don't plan on putting myself in the line of fire. So that was all there was to it. We just We just thought we'd throw it out there and see if anybody wanted to talk about it in a calm. I say that, but and I don't want anybody to think that that is not a dig at anyone else. I totally understand that emotions are high, but I still want an answer to the question. To what end? I mean, can anyone in the chat answer that? Does anybody know what is it? I mean, sometimes I wonder if it is all just in everyone's interest to just keep it going, because it does. It brings a lot of traffic. And I'm guilty. I listen to it. I don't want to take part in it anymore, but I would be lying if I said that I didn't listen, just like everybody else. So, but if I could talk to anybody, that's what I want to know. Tell me to what end, because if somebody can answer that question, then there's an end game. Maybe. I don't know. Hey Rayla, how you doing? I'm just reading the chat, you guys. I'm not good at talking and reading at the same time. In and out of real life, miss a lot. Oh, concerned citizen, that is a good thing. Yes, that's, sometimes I think that too. I think some of the problem is some of us have too much time on our hands. And when you got a lot of spare time for whatever reason, well, you get bored and got to do something for entertainment. Yes, it is. It is very. Hey, Lake Girl Sally. Sorry, girl. I didn't mean to pin that comment. Y'all know I don't know what I'm doing with the damn comments. Hey, Sober Girl. How are you? It is very unhealthy mentally. That I tell you what, that is truer words were never spoken. That is a fact. And it's not good for anybody. Virginia says, I'll say it. Most of the danger will end when ES is behind bars. Well, so what if that doesn't happen? I'm, and I don't, I mean, truthfully, a lot of what's going on right now is not, he's, I mean, he's to a degree, he's always going to be a part of the three ring circus, but there's a lot that's gone on over the last few days that is not, take him out of it. I'm not talking about him. Whoops. I think we lost Rabbit. Yes, BDAC, you are correct. There are, oh my God, there's more channels and that's one thing that really sucks is there are so many great channels on here, and we all know if you try and stay out of this and keep yourself removed from it, you take a hit. The views go way down, but you know what? for me, I am fortunate enough that this is just a hobby. This is something to do with some spare time. I have met some lovely people on here that I'm sure I will be friends with for many years to come. I tell you what, when I become friends with someone, and I mean real friends, not, I'm talking people that I speak to outside of here. I'm pretty much your friend forever. I don't I don't have tons of close friends, but the ones I have are real, true friendships that have endured decades. So, and that's the way I like it. I don't need to collect people. And like everyone else, I would love to have lots of subs. Um I would love to have a successful channel, but that's not my. Oh, hey. Oh, good Lord. I've got a cat fight. I've got a little dog that's coming to break it up. Oh, yeah. I just, at least it looks to me from the outside looking in this space. Um I think I said in some of my very first videos that I ever made, long before I ever spoke to anyone, any fellow creators, ever communicated in any kind of way on here. They were just people that I had watched for quite a while before I decided to start my own channel. And I know I said early on, and probably in several videos, that I was very well aware of it what it would take to get to the top of the game in this crama. Although at the time I don't even think I knew it was called crama. I was still under the impression it was true crime, but that, I mean, that, yeah, no. um and I mean, I knew that I would never be willing to do what you've got to be willing to do. And I don't say that in terms of any kind of nefarious behavior, although there is that too, and we all know that. Um, but just everything that goes along with it, how dedicated you have to be to really the amount and the extent of the work that you have to put in. And let's face it, you can do the most fantastic work in the world. But if you cannot, just like in the real world and in your real profession, whatever that is, especially if you work for yourself, you have to network with other people. You need to be friendly with your peers. So I I don't know. I don't I just truly had no clue what this really was all about. And I don't know. I don't know if I am cut out for it. I would like to think that all this will shake itself out and there will be a time. I don't know. This is just this is an environment that rewards, it's very driven. Two of the biggest driving factors are ego and money, which brings out the beast in people, the absolute worst. And it makes it very cutthroat and competitive. eh, and I don't know that, even if this immediate shit storm, I'm sure it will. Well, it's going to come to a head one way or the other. I don't know how, but at some point it'll end. But I'm sure there'll just be something else to take its place around the corner. So I don't know. God, I wish I could see. Just for you, 247. Oh Lord, I must have missed something. Izzy Pop, that is very true. You cannot control anything that others do. Only yourself. Now I'm Kinsuji. Now I'm scrolling back up to see what I missed. Oh my God, somebody was knocking on Izzy Pop's door. Oh, good God. Can somebody? I have people knocking on my door all hours of the night? Oh my God, Izzy. See, that to me, I don't get it. And that is very scary. No matter what you may or may not have for your own personal security and safety. Excuse me. Well, Izzy Pop, I'd be curious to know your thoughts about. Although I don't want to put you in a I don't want to put you in a bad net. Never mind. I'm not gonna. I don't need to go there. Charlotte Ann, there's channels that do vlog. You know what, Charlotte Ann? I I have always preferred the uploads. The only thing that hey Lisa V, how are you? I do like the the aspect of being able to real time chat with the names that you know we know and love. But I've always liked the the uploads. I don't know. I'm just That's always kind of been my preferred way of getting the message out, whatever the message may be. And I don't know. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm not super comfortable with the live, the tech aspect, and all the little things that happen. But that is definite. I have definitely thought about that. Just going back to videos only. But I don't know. I'm not ready to do that quite yet, but that's one way to handle some of the issue. Girl, did you get that HughesNet going?
Oh gosh, we had family pop in, so
Oh, you
I
did.
hopped. Yeah, and they all
I
kind
figured
of.
it was your internet.
No, thankfully for once, it's not. And what were you saying about uploading videos? See, that's what I had considered too, as far as like cleaning video, stuff like that. Is just pre-recording them, slapping them up there, doing it, the manual way,
Yep.
because it's pretty easy. It's it's pretty
You
easy to get on here
control.
and
You're
yeah,
in complete control of the message
yeah.
of all of it. There's no.
Yeah, and it's easy to just delete comments. And that is something that I'm definitely going to start doing. I know, on here, if you delete anything or you private anything, it's, oh, it's dirty, dirty delete, all that. I don't care about all that. I want to delete any negative comments people leave. I'm going to go back, and I'm not going to go back through every video and do it, but there's got to be control. I think that's an important word, is control, is
Yep.
getting control of things.
I was looking at the chat and I saw that Izzy Pop said she said she's got people knocking on her door day and night.
What?
Day and night since she was doxxed. I mean,
Physically knocking on the
yeah,
door?
yeah.
What on earth? You need a security camera. Do you not have a security camera, Izzy? Good God.
I think she, oh, I'm sure she must, but it's kind of like, well, that's great that you have that, but I mean, I don't know what Izzy's living situation is,
Gee.
but I tell you what, even if, well, I guess I can't say that I would be anywhere near as comfortable if I didn't have my husband present.
Yeah.
So, and I have no idea what Izzy's situation is, but I was saying earlier before you came back that no matter what you may or may not have in your home for security purposes, well, nobody in their right mind actually wants to have to go there. I mean, I guess it's good to know if it absolutely came down to it and you had no other choice, well, at least you've got it. But that's not, I put it this way, on the occasions where I've had to stay by myself at night because my husband's been traveling for work or whatever the case may be, I'm kind of out in the sticks. I live on property and I am um I'm very well secured with an alarm system, with other home security items, we'll just say, that could, stop someone quite literally in their tracks. But that doesn't make me sleep too much better at night. You hear something go bump in the night, and of course, even though you're as protected as you can be, it's still, my God, if someone was on, can you imagine somebody at your door? Uh, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I think I would honestly, it would, well, I know 100% if somebody literally came to my door. Well, I know that everybody can't have animals, and I go on and on about dogs, and I know everybody doesn't want a big crazy dog in their house. But I have to be honest with you, that is our, let's say, first
Yes, line of
defense.
defense.
Because it's bizarre, and I never was a big dog person. I was always all about the cats, and I still have my cat, but they know the difference. They know the difference. Just when family came in just now, they knew immediately. You know, they didn't go crazy. And just today, the German Shepherd, and mind you, I think he's like 107 pounds right now. He's
Wow.
huge. He's huge.
That's more than
And
I weigh.
yeah, yes, he is a big guy
Yeah,
and
that's.
super protective. He's super babied. He is fed with a fork. My husband feeds him with a fork. Every meal he eats, he is fed by hand. But all that to say that he even recently has learned to jump on top of the crate, which we tried to put in front of the man cave
Oh,
door, and so he's pretty much free to do whatever he chooses. So if somebody comes into my house, I can't help what happens, and I don't say that to like
yeah.
scare people. It's true. And what Dazed saw, he was in his crate, and she is, she's such a gentle angel. She just went over to, just say hello, and he friggin' didn't know who she was and lost it. I was getting afraid he was going to bust out of the crate. It's just
You
that's
have,
it's
what do
you
you have?
shouldn't.
Dobermans?
I have a Doberman and also have a Czech German Shepherd working breed. And my
Girl,
Doberman's actually working breed as well.
when I was in elementary school, my best girlfriend who lived at the, I lived in a neighborhood. It was one way in, one way out. She lived the furthest away from my house, and they had two Dobermans. And I what those dogs could smell the fear on me, I swear to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
And they never hurt me, but I I mean, I'm a tiny person. And when I was, that was probably like 5th grade. When I was in the 5th grade, so that would have made me about 10. Oh, I promise you, I probably looked like I was 6. And I just remember I would be but I liked her so much it wouldn't stop me from going to her house. But I was terrified of those dogs. And even my little Bichon, you know, he will hear things out in the woods that we don't hear in the house, obviously. But when the notion strikes him, he will just sit up in the bed and just start going crazy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that will scare me far more than, somebody knocking on the door. But
Mhm.
it's that when the dog hears something and goes crazy in the night, oh yeah, that, oh, I don't enjoy being alone at night.
No, and that's what's so scary about, like, I understand that, there I guess that's the whole issue, is truly I don't believe that anybody that we know or are familiar with, at least to whatever extent on here, I don't believe that anybody we know necessarily would show up somewhere or whatever. It's the people beyond those people that you don't know, and they hear an address, they hear a name, they see a picture. And this goes for seeing a male's house or a female's. I mean,
Yep,
it doesn't matter sometimes to people.
yep.
And
Yeah,
and it could be
people get
somebody
weird
that's,
obsessions.
yes. And it could be people that have never ever even chatted a word, and they know, well, I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking because I don't want to give anybody any weird ideas, but there are, reasons, there's just all kinds of different bizarre reasons. And it's just morally not okay. I mean, certainly, well, you know what? I think eventually, I've said it before, eventually everybody will be doxxed and then it won't
Yeah.
matter. You know, that's
You know
another
what
way to
I
look at it.
think? There is one thing that I heard Prissy say today that was, it was so true. When she gave her name and the city she lived in, and I think
Hmm.
she gave her phone number too, and she said, "I just took your power away." She was right. She did.
Yeah. And
However,
it's,
that
it's sad though
I'm
that it
not
has to
saying that
come to that.
anyone should do that, but it, if that is what someone is lording over you, or that's what your fear is, I guess, well, it does kind of steal someone's thunder. But I mean, I wouldn't do it. But I've never really talked about this on here. Um, and I won't at any length because the person is more than likely still out there. But let's see. I'm gonna say, let me just do a little math quick in my head. Okay, so almost, well, we'll just say 25-ish years ago, I had a stalker. And this was way before you ever heard people talking about it. It wasn't common like it is now. And they they never, if I could tell you some of the things that were done, I mean, you wouldn't believe. One of them you would not believe, and when I tell you, it was like something out of a horror movie. Believe me when I say that. I'm not exaggerating. not exaggerating. Um, and it took in within the last 10 years, it took that long before I was able to not just think about some of the things that were done and have my heart start racing out of my chest. I was
Mm,
never I was never physically hurt, but it was all seemingly a mental torment. That was the
mm.
idea. It was fear, intimidation, and not having any earthly idea who it was. And law enforcement was involved. I moved, and what was so crazy, as soon as it had, just as quick as it started, it just stopped.
Oh my
And it
God.
never, knock wood, never dealt with it again. But when I tell you that it took until about 10 years ago to not have it cause fear and wonder, like, is that person still out there? Are they still keeping tabs? And I mean, believe me when I tell you, law enforcement tried many, asked many questions to try and figure out like where was this coming from. And and I truly had no idea then. I have no idea today. I at this point I don't want to know. I mean, it's been enough years that I mean, I'm not expecting to be revisited by any of that. But if
Gosh.
I could tell you some of the things that were done to inspire fear, terror, um, I mean it. I'm talking like things from a horror movie. So,
Oh my God.
it just, I only mention that to just because of what you just said, that you don't know who's listening, you don't know who's watching. I could never come up with who in the hell it could be. And I mean, I have ideas about, not about who, but about where the contact might have been made, you know,
Yeah.
where that person and I might have crossed paths. Some of that I have ideas on, but you do, and that, listen, that was many, well, 25-ish years ago. So we're talking way before the kind of social media, internet environment that we're in now. So now, oh my God, I mean, it's so much easier
Oh
to,
yeah.
and you don't know what it is that someone sees, that they grab onto, that they identify with, or whatever the case may be.
God, I am sorry. That is so scary.
It was very scary.
Oh,
I tell you what, until you have ever not felt safe in your own skin, you're like, and there was nowhere that I felt it truly. I was always like, I mean, when I tell you, I slept with a loaded gun under my pillow, and I still didn't feel safe. I mean, everywhere I went, I would be doing one of these. you start looking at everyone going, oh my God, is that B? Is it down? I so you truly don't know what what goes through people's minds.
Yeah, it's emotional hijacking of peace, and it's
Yep.
just it's criminal. It's truly criminal. And that's
Yeah.
why supporting, gosh, even, oh my gosh. And you know what? That's why it's even more important that at least the people that are watching, if somebody if somebody is just telling where somebody lives or their phone numbers, their addresses, their names, whatever, just whatever information they're leaking out there out of spite, just to make somebody else mad because that person's made them mad, or what, it doesn't matter, whatever the case is, it's time to stop supporting that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
because
And
it's horrible.
it's and then you hear a lot. I've heard a lot this last week or last week and into this week. A lot of, I guess, justifying. Very few people are willing to take any personal responsibility, and you just hear a lot of, well, he did this or she did that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's it has to. No one is blameless. No one.
Mm-mm.
And to me, across the board, it's a sign of social immaturity. I don't care how old you are. It to not be able to acknowledge any culpability is when it's so clear to anyone who's paid any attention at all that everybody has played a part. But
Yeah.
people don't want to hear that.
No, no. Nobody wants to hit the stop button. And gosh, now you've got me thinking. Maybe uploading videos most of the week and just going live once a week instead of, this, because maybe the contact, and this is real talk, maybe the contact with people often and even every day, in my case, it's every day. Maybe that's not the wisest thing because people can get an unhealthy connection with people that way and feel like
Mm-hmm.
they can intrude upon your personal space just because you are, talking to them every day, or it feels like you're talking to them every
Mm-hmm.
day. And I guess I do forget that beyond this crap hole, there are millions of unknown people that are capable of anything. And my God, stop telling people where other people live.
Yeah, that I honestly I think that isn't that, I mean, I'm assuming that's against terms of service. Is good. I couldn't tell you what they are because I've never read them, and I'm sure that goes for most people. It's one of those things where, well, that to play in this sandbox, you've got to agree. Kind of like when you go to have a medical procedure, whatever the case may be. Nobody reads all that shit because the the price of entry is you agree. So you just so I'm assuming it's against terms of service to
There's so
like,
many people that throw around, I didn't read terms of service
yeah, who
either
does? Nobody does.
because
But
I
I
thought, I know the basics,
yeah.
and you learn little things here and there. Don't say this word, that word, yada yada for the algorithm. But I mean, some people say, well, it's public record, or oh, this is, a news article, or this is. But even if it's not some kind of term of service, no matter what. And honestly, this is just gonna fall into the friggin' ocean of other words that I've spoke that have went nowhere, did nothing to help anything. But it
Well,
just
you never
everybody
know. It
needs
might.
to just good God stop. And it is
Yeah.
the audience. It's all the audience because
Mhm.
if there were chat rooms that became very quiet and there was nobody there, there would be none of this. Probably none. If the minute people said somebody's name or address, everybody clicked off immediately, which would let the creator
Mhm.
understand, hey, we don't want to hear this. This is not
Yeah.
what we're down with. But nobody will do it. Nobody
Yeah.
will do
No.
it.
And the thing is, how how can you expect people not to do it to you if you're going to do it to someone else? And
Absolutely.
it can't just be, oh, well, I hate him or I hate her, but I won't do it to you. I just did it to him because I hate him. Well,
Hmm.
it, I mean, once you've done it one time,
Oh yeah.
all bets are off. I mean, it's like
Absolutely.
your credibility's shot. And I just, for the life of me, I just wish I could understand why. Why can't it be that if you don't like somebody, you just stay away from them? And if you do find yourself in the same chat, well, somebody either leaves or you just ignore each other. Do you know how many times I've been in your chat and seen somebody that I don't necessarily care for? I just don't talk to them. But
Yeah.
I, I don't know why it's got to be, well, I don't like you, so I'm gonna need to destroy you. That's that is what I don't get. I truly, that's the part of it I can't understand.
And the dedication to it. I mean, the people that
Yeah.
are, yeah, the hate that people are
Hmm.
that they're extending to one another. It takes a lot of time, energy, and dedication that I have never seen in my life. And of course, I can take the cheesy route and say, well, if they just used all that energy and time for good, well, yeah, of course, it would be great. But it's just astounding if you really sit back and add up, even if someone spent 2 hours a day, that is 60 hours a month. That is what going on knocking on 3 solid days, 24 hours a day, if you put it all together, almost shy of maybe 12 hours or so. 3 solid days, evenings, morning, noons, and nights of hating on somebody and trying to say something mean about them. That's a lot of wasted time, and I don't even want to do the math per year,
And
etc.
if you don't think that the energy that you put
Mhm.
out doing that, if you think that people who are participating to that level, if you think that they just push that little button that says end broadcast and they just all of a sudden are just happy go lucky right back to their family like nothing ever happened,
Mhm.
bullshit. It takes time to let your emotions come back down,
Absolutely.
to get back down to a normal baseline place. I don't have to be a shrink to know that. Every single one of us. Oh God. Oh, oh yeah. Cat wants in lab and just
Oh.
about took the iPad over. Yeah, that's, we all know from it's happened to all of us.
Mhm.
You're in some kind of a heated altercation over who knows what, whatever the case may be. You don't just turn that off because okay, I'm done. No, it takes time to bring it back to a dull roar. So I
Never gonna end. Well, it will end.
no.
It will end if somebody ends up
Yeah.
literally hurt. It
Oh
will
yeah,
end.
no, it's going to end. It is going to end some way, because it's just built, 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 and I would love to think that it's going to end because one or two people come to their senses and become proactive about ending it
Mhm.
before it gets to a very dark place. But I don't, I'm not holding my breath for that.
No.
But if it keeps going as it is, it's, yeah, I mean, it will end, but how, that's anyone's guess.
It's gotten to the point that I know I've repeated myself probably a million times saying the same thing over and over and over, because obviously once you're sucked into this vortex, it's hard to climb back out of it, which I have been making an effort to do. Like well, I know that you and me have, and hopefully that will be a catching thing. But I just, I would love to be able to get through an entire live stream, and I'm hoping tomorrow, the next, at some point, I will be able to be broken away from everything to the point that I can literally have an entire live stream without cracking a liberator joke, without cracking a ES joke, without, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's got to be a point that these people are just not a constant in my brain somewhere.
And I think that that is a it is, with tension so high. I know that I even when I have started going back into just a few chats, and I like to say that I make liberal and judicious use of the backspace key and the delete key. And I do, because I'm a smartass by nature. I truly am. And I I am good at one liners. And it just, I'll be doing this, and then I'll look and I'll go back, 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 back. And it's not because I'm saying anything so terrible, although sometimes I'm getting ready to say something that I shouldn't. But it's more just, in the current climate, well, this could be taken in the very, it'll, it's just not worth it. It's not
Yeah.
worth the, it's not worth it. So I just choose to, and I don't like that. I do not like feeling that I have got to be so censored in what I want to comment, even when it isn't anything. It's benign. It's just smart ass remarks. But I know that it'll more than likely be taken the wrong way. So I just don't say it. And I don't like that. That pisses me off, that I have to feel like I can't say what I want to say.
It sucks.
Mhm.
And it's made it not enjoyable, not
Yeah.
fun, not
No.
anything. And I think honestly, Turtle Island, I guess I think Fizz Crank said it earlier, is on tonight. This may be the first one I set out, and not because I think there's anything wrong with it. I love it. I have a good time.
Oh, I
It's
think it's a genius
pure,
idea.
yeah. It's pure fun, and I get a kick out of it. But I'm so exhausted from today was a lot. Um,
I
that it
I'm kind of glad that
exhausted.
I wasn't. I truly was indisposed. I was driving for a couple hours, and then I I just I was shopping. And I was not going to stop my shopping mission for all this bullshit nonsense because
Yeah.
I knew it would be waiting when I got home. And I did.
Oh
I listened
yeah.
to it on 2 times the speed.
You know,
But
and your first thought, well, my first thoughts, anytime there is, and oh gosh, just craziness going on is, oh my gosh. And then once I watch, I'm like, oh my
ew. Yeah.
gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I hear you. I don't know. But something you just said, you said it's just it's not even fun anymore. And truly, that's the way I feel. I and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, um, I can take this or leave this, no problem. I have a real life family. I have real life friends. I quite fortunately do not have to rely on this for an income stream. So the minute that I just would never endure. I've never understood why anyone. I have said multiple times, can you imagine if you were mired in this situation? If you've got BK pissed at you, Nicolina pissed at you, Rap pissed at you, and on it could go. Are you taking a call from any of them so they can tell you all about yourself? I'm not. I am not. So I've always wondered, why in the hell does anyone take that call to get berated? And it could only be one of a few choices. You're either like it, you like the views or the what else? I mean, maybe because you're trying to salvage some relationship, so you think you can talk it out. I don't know. But it's like that was always my thing with Lisa. I was the nose. I was always asking, and not just in my head. I asked her multiple times, what is why do you do this? Why do you take calls from people who are just going to read you for filth? I don't get it. So when I tell you that I would never do that, I will never do that. I just won't.
Yeah, if it ever gets to the point, which thank God it hasn't, and but on here you never know. If it ever gets to the point that, all of this becomes a freaking, if it ever gets to the point that people are, I don't care if people make fun of, I mean, what am I trying to say? There's so much that I, don't care about or would allow on here. There is a point that I would have to call it a day and say, you know what, this is crazy. I'm done. And I think that point would be if I certainly won't entertain it. Put it that way.
Yeah, no, I would
Yeah,
never. I would
no,
never. I mean, I guess anything could happen one time because you wouldn't know what was coming,
yeah,
but you would know real quickly what what was getting ready to happen, and that would be the end of that. It just serves no purpose. And if you really
no,
truly have an issue and you want to work it out with someone, well, you don't have to do that on a live. You don't.
that's a good point.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't care what anybody does. I don't care who likes who. Uh, I'm live and let live. You don't bother me. I'm not going to bother you. I I meant everything I said when I said that I am no longer going to make any targeted videos at people. which I think is a lot of the reason I'm because it's such a recent revelation. I am going out of my way to try and really stand by what I said. So even though I may be typing something that I think is just funny, someone else could take it as, oh, well, that didn't take long. So I don't know. I guess we just ever it. What I hate is the fact that you literally never know. Things can take. I've never seen a place where things can be one way when you go to bed or when you sign off for the last time that day, and you get up in the morning and things have just done one of these. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
being in Blender.
and it's constant.
Yep.
There's very short periods of time that it's quiet or things. It may be a day, maybe a week would be pushing it to the absolute limit, and then something happens, and then something happens. I just don't know how long I can stay on the hamster wheel. I'm getting ready. I've already been spit out of it, and that's why I'm just not gonna. I'm definitely not gonna
Hamster
entertain the
wheel.
dramatics. You
That's a
know,
very good analogy.
on definitely, and that's what it is. It's just
Mhm.
it's mindless circles all the time, and it's not healthy. Definitely physically, emotionally, mentally. It's especially mentally, and yeah, that's why I'm
You
just
know that
gonna
old
go a
saying?
different route.
You know that old saying when they talk about uh people who cheat, like if you met them, how's it go? If they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of like that on here. If if you see someone who is being, because I've heard some things that have made me sit back and go, huh? Like, I just couldn't believe that, insert name here, which of course I'm not going to do, but I couldn't believe that X, Y turned on me. I couldn't believe X or Y said blah blah, insert phrase. And I said to myself, excuse me, you can't believe it? Really? How come you can't believe it? You sat and watched all this behavior, but you can't believe that now you're in the hot seat. Well, why not? Why wouldn't you be? It reminds me of that old, if they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you. So I guess if you're find yourself very friendly with anyone who goes out of their way to cause grief for another person, don't be surprised when they do it to you. And they will. I mean, I understand that I am dancing all around and being cagey, but I'm sorry. That's the way I'm going to do this. Everybody everybody does things in their own way, and this is the way I'm going to do it. I'm not going to get specific with names. I'm just not. And it probably it would require a lot less thought for me to just go ballistic. But I don't have enough of a stake in any of it to have that. I don't have enough care about it to go ballistic, because it's not. I don't like what I've seen happen to many people, but it has not happened to me, and not yet. And the only reason I think, well, I won't say the only reason, but I'm sure in some small part that is because I have attempted to remain as neutral and non confrontational as possible. Just because I don't say what my opinion is doesn't mean I don't have one.
Amen to that. And I think it boils down to how far each person is willing to go, and that's creator, watcher, chatter, lurker, hater, troll, whoever, how far you're willing to take it. And everybody has a limit. And I think a lot of us realized earlier on than others that may be catching up now, or maybe it will be, over a little more time for them to finally realize that it's no. I can't point the finger at anything I have felt guilt over that I've apologized for. I can't just direct the finger at anybody but me. So I just, as much as I do see things that I think are horrible or I don't agree with, and I can't change nobody, but I can change me, and you all
Yep.
can change
Yep.
you.
Yep.
And it's sad because a lot of people will be in full agreement. They're on top of it, like, yes, I agree. Oh, I'm so, I'm so stressed out and worn out from all the mean things. But then those same exact people will literally, within sometimes just minutes, be right back to the very same thing, which is fine, to each their own. But I mean, but it does show that there's a struggle going on, evidently, if they're willing to say, yes, I think that's horrible. Even if they do go back and do the same thing, there's growth starting somewhere.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but like you said, to what end is all this?
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
I guess the best I can, all I'm trying to do from this point forward is remain respectful to
mm-hmm.
everyone involved. You notice I have not singled anyone out, and I'm not planning on doing that
Yeah, it's a whole gaggle. I mean, it's
because
hundreds of people.
because I have been I feel that I have gotten that treatment, and it's not because I think everybody thinks I'm wonderful. No, but I think that there is, I guess the best way that I could describe it is I believe that there is an unspoken mutual respect, in as much as I'm not going to go out of my way to make any waves or cause anyone any grief, and I will be quite happy to have that treatment in return. That's that's where I that's where I stand. I think that's the best. I think that's the best that we can hope for.
I agree.
Thank you, Soper Girl. That is very sweet. And you know what? To piggyback on what Soper Girl is saying, y'all, it is not a bad thing to put the YouTube down. If it is getting too much for you, turn it off. That's all you have to do. Just turn it off. This is the beauty of this. It'll all, chances are that if you walk away for a few days, oh hell, probably a few weeks, nothing will have changed when you come back. I would imagine you're not going to miss anything. It's going to be the same shit, different day, more than likely. So it's not a bad thing to just step away from it. What I mean, Nothing earth shattering is going to happen. And if it does, I'm sure somebody um, will send you an email and let you know.
I
So,
agree. And there's other channels, like none of the
oh,
true
oh
crime,
yeah,
crime, drama, whatever. I mean,
yes,
there's so many cool things, and
yep,
everybody that's on here obviously is familiar with YouTube and its plethora of wonderful things.
yeah.
So yeah, you don't have to always just feel stuck. I guess that is the one thing that blows my mind out of everything is the fact that I feel like everybody feels like this is a legit, touchable, tangible, real community that you just can't leave. Like you wake up and you're here. But you don't have to wake up and just be here because it's on your news feed here or your, suggested.
Yep.
You can type in anything that you enjoy and find it on YouTube. It doesn't have to be all this.
I so wish that I could even adequately try and explain the way my husband looks at me and the things he says when I will talk to him about this crap. And he's like, honey, you do realize that this is just a little teeny weeny weeny tiny section of YouTube, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. I, it is like it's like trying to explain life on another planet or something
Oh,
to
absolutely.
people who are not involved in this. I mean, my daughter-in-law was here the other morning, and I could tell she was listening to me talk on the phone, and I could tell she was just like, "Oh my God, what in the hell?" And she's young. She's a young girl. She knows they're social media savvy, tech
Mm-hmm.
savvy. But even this was, I could tell they were just like, "What in the hell? What is she talking about?"
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find words to make this make any
It's
sense.
just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
It is.
So, well, y'all, unless you've got something more to add,
I
I'm
feel like
I
I
think I'm
feel like
talked out.
me too. I think that we have exhausted all
I agree.
measures. Our arsenal's empty. We've done all that can be said or done. And all I can leave you guys with is enjoy yourself. I do see people that I used to see not acting so happy, acting happier at least. So I think there's, there are changes being made here and there, and that's the best we can hope for. And
Yep.
as for my personal channel, I'm no longer uh gonna discuss any of it. I mean, it's all just water under the bridge, so to speak. So yeah,
Yep. I agree.
yeah,
And everybody just all we can control is us. That's
hmm
all. And if y'all don't like it, if you don't like what you see, then stop going to the places that are causing you angst. That's I mean,
amen.
there's nothing else to say. So, all right. Well, I think I'll go and oh my, it's 10 o'clock.
No baby hippos. Baby hippos is our safe word if I start squirreling off track and start talking about people or
Oh,
situations. That's the reminder. So Lisa
okay.
needs a baby hippo
I'm
too.
gonna have to write that down because I'll never remember. That's the safe word.
The
Okay,
safe
safe
word.
word.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
Have a
Well,
good
I'm
night
gonna
though,
be home
guys.
tomorrow,
Hmm.
so I will be able to catch you
Awesome
live tomorrow.
sauce.
All
Well,
right.
well, you guys have a fabulous night. And I will see you
Yep.
guys when we
You
get
too.
together here
Yep.
again.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and hanging out with us. And we will see you tomorrow. All right. Have a great night, everybody.